Yvette Cooper.
Mr. Speaker, on Tuesday, the Home Secretary told us the deportation of Abu Qatada was underway. On Wednesday, it stopped. On Tuesday, she told us there would be no appeal to the Grand Chamber. On Wednesday, an appeal was underway. Yesterday, the Home Office said the appeal deadline was Monday night, but the European Court officials said it was Tuesday night. So on the Tuesday night deadline, while Abu Qatada was appealing to European Court judges, the Home Secretary, who thought the deadline was Monday night, was partying with X Factor judges. When the Home Secretary is accused of not knowing what day of the week it is, then confusion and chaos has turned into farce.
Order. The Right Honourable Lady has a right to be heard. Has the Right Honourable Lady concluded her remarks, or did she wish to continue? She's continuing. The Right Honourable Lady must be heard. There are strong feelings on this matter, but opinions will be heard, and if the exchanges are longer as a result, so be it. But members must hear what each other has to say. Yvette Cooper.
This farce has serious consequences. Additional delays, a greater risk Abu Qatada will be put out on bail, and a risk he will sue the government. So, did the Home Office get specific assurances from the European Court the deadline was Monday night? If so, will they publish them? If not, why not? Why did they not pick up the phone to sort it out? The Home Office was told by journalists on Monday, nearly 24 hours before Abu Qatada was arrested, that the European Court officials were saying the deadline was Tuesday. Did they do anything about it? I hope her interpretation is right, but at best there is uncertainty, and several eminent lawyers are now saying that they agree with the European Court. So why take the risk? What was the harm in waiting until Wednesday? Why create a legal loophole for Abu Qatada's lawyers to exploit? We all want Abu Qatada to be deported as soon as possible under the rule of law and kept off the streets in the meantime. But both those things are now less likely because of her actions. On Tuesday, I warned that there was a troubling level of confusion around this case. Even I did not imagine the confusion was this great. When will this Home Secretary sort this out?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have to say, Mr. Speaker, the Shadow Home Secretary tells us that she wants to see Abu Qatada deported. I have to say I'm beginning to wonder whether she really does.
Order, let's lower the temperature. I said that the Shadow Home Secretary must be heard, and precisely the same principle applies to the Home Secretary. Let's hear what the Home Secretary has to say, and then I will allow a very full opportunity, if necessary, for questions to follow. Home Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me repeat what I said in my first answer. We've always been clear that despite the progress that we have made, the process of deporting Abu Qatada is likely to take many months. And it should hardly come as a surprise to anybody, shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody, that Qatada has intended to apply delaying tactics. I repeat that it should hardly come as a surprise to anybody that Abu Qatada has chosen to use delaying tactics. After all, he has been doing this since 2001. The fact that he applied to the Grand Chamber for referral after the deadline had passed and after he had heard our case in SIAC shows the strength of the arguments that we have and the strength of the work that we have done in putting assurances together from the Grand Chamber. Now, I did answer the question about dates in my first answer, but I will go back to this issue because the Right Honourable Lady has referred to it again. Article 43 of the Convention is clear. A request for referral to the Grand Chamber must be made within a period of 3 months from the date of the judgment of the Chamber. And perhaps I could read to the House the European Court's own guidance on this. The period of 3 months within which referral may be requested starts to run on the date of the delivery of the judgment, irrespective of whether the party concerned may have learned about it at a later stage. It expires 3 calendar months later and is not interrupted by bank holidays or periods of judicial recess. The request for referral should reach the registry of the court before the expiry of the above-mentioned period. So we're talking about a simple mathematical question. The European Court's judgment was on the 17th of January. The period of 3 months within which we were allowed to refer ended at midnight on the 16th of April. She asked why we didn't just call the European Court and check, and of course the government has been in contact with the European Court throughout this period, and it was always clear that we were working to a deadline of Monday. She quoted a source in the European Court, but if she had listened to what I said in my first answer, she would know that the only people at the European Court who can adjudicate on this are the judges on the panel of the Grand Chamber. Article 43 is very clear. She may want to listen to unofficial sources, but I suggest she actually reads the text of the Convention. And Mr. Speaker, the Shadow Home Secretary also chose today to attack me for acting too quickly in this matter. On Tuesday, she attacked me for acting too slowly in this matter. The Shadow Home Secretary is all over the place, and the truth is, because of the work that we have done, we have the assurances and information that we need from the Jordanian government to comply with the January ruling of the European Court. Once we can get the case back to the British courts, we will resume that process so we can put Abu Qatada on a plane and get him out of our country for good. And that is something that the Shadow Home Secretary should support. But finally, maybe the Shadow Home Secretary can answer the question that was not answered on Tuesday. While we're talking about deportation and extradition, why is the Labour Party campaigning to stop the extradition of a known terror suspect to the United States?
Sir Peter Tapsell.